For marketers, a lot of the attraction to really getting Cvent as a MarTech tool is the data that you can then have integrate through all these different touch points and across all your different MarTech and other systems. But in terms of my particular role in the company, I have a demand generation hat, but also a field marketing hat. So there's lots of global campaign work looking at just what's going on in the industry with meetings and events, how different personas are being affected by what's going on. But also from a field marketing perspective, I run a lot of events myself. I'm looking across the buyer journey, seeing where we can be attracting different types of contacts, different audiences at different stages. So whether that's a user conference for those who have already adopted the Cvent platform, or much earlier in the journey, looking at webinars, looking at trade shows, and more ways to really nurture an audience.
Now, in a virtual sense, you actually become the venue, and in a hybrid sense, you're sort of connecting the two worlds, right? What are the kind of trends that you're seeing at the moment, like as far as whether people choose virtual or hybrid?
Yeah, one thing I'd say is that there are lots of budget concerns at the moment. This has been a thing for a while, but especially over the last couple of years, we've been really hearing it from customers and prospects. It does mean that companies are often really trying to find ways to minimizing costs. That does mean that some companies are actually moving away from having virtual in addition to in-person elements. One thing that we just as Cvent have been doing, and a lot of other companies are doing this too, are really making sure to keep both that virtual and that in-person experience as a core part of our larger events. And that just means that we avoid missing out on that audience that wouldn't be seeing all this content we're putting out, seeing our brand, seeing our latest products. So in a way, we're actually avoiding extra costs by having to get in front of that audience in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to go back to an event, our flagship that we do in Europe every year.
Mm-hmm.
Last November, we had let me get the stats actually, because it's pretty interesting. It's 2,000 in-person registrations and 1,300 virtual registrations.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's more than half of the number of in-person that actually registered virtually.